art book last week and all of that. Okay, so who can remind me of some things that we look for in books that help us figure out words we don't know? Jack?
We can look for surrounding sentences.
Surrounding words in the sentence. Nevaeh? Pictures.
What is it again? Synonyms.
Synonyms. So who can tell me what synonyms are? Isaac?
Words that
Mean the same thing. Yeah, yeah. So how I remember synonyms is S, synonym starts with S, and same starts with S. So like words that mean the same. And then antonyms, what is antonyms?
The opposite.
The opposite. Good job. Okay, so we're going to read this book called Baloney, and it's about a little alien who is late for school and his excuse as to why he was late for school. Henry P. Baloney. Last Tuesday morning at 8:37 a.m., Henry P. Baloney was finally late for class once too often. That's it, said Miss Bugscuffle. Permanent, lifelong detention unless you have one very good, very believable excuse. Well, I would have been exactly on time, said Henry, but I misplaced my trusty Zimulus. What is a Zimulus? Then I found it on my deskie. Someone had put my deskie in a Taraku. The Taraku drove me right here to Scola, but what are those words? He's talking in his own language. Then it drove right past. I grabbed my Zimulus and jumped out, but I jumped smack in the middle of a Razzo launch pad. Gosh. I used my Zimulus to pop open the escape porto, but it turned out to be a porto into the next Razzo blasting off. I jammed the Razzo controls with my Zimulus so I could land behind Scola and still be on time, but what happened next? I jammed the wrong button and ended up on the planet Astrosis. He's having a weird morning. I entertained the Astro guys with my very funny Pixis, but they decided my Pixis would be entertaining, and Pixis and I would be entertaining to eat. Oh my goodness. I changed their minds with diagrams and calculations so fantastic they crowned me Caningus of the whole planet. But I forgot the Astrosis word for thank you and accidentally used the word for doof brain. Oh my goodness. I foiled their plan to disintegrate me by plugging up their blassa with my Zimulus. But, oh no, what happened next? They made a new plan to send me back in a sighing flosser to Fracassi our Scola. I erased the sighing flosser Fracassi instructions, but I also erased the sighing flosser Porto lock and fell out. I dropped like an Uyarak. I was only 3 seconds away from Zerplatzen all over the speed plots. Not even my trusty Zimulus could save me. So what did you do? Said Miss Bugscuffle. How could you possibly save yourself? I suddenly remembered that falling bodies obey the law of gravity. And I haven't learned the law of gravity yet, so I stopped and came to Scola. All of which made me exactly 7 minutes late this almu. Henry P. Baloney, said Miss Bugscuffle, this is unbelievable. But today's assignment is to compose a tall tale. So why don't you sit down and get to writing? I'd love to, said Henry, but I seem to have misplaced my Zimulus. So those were some weird words in there, weren't they? But do you think we could use some of our context clues to figure out what those words are in English?
Yes.
You think we could? Okay, everybody go back to your seats. I'm going to pass out a paper. And what do we write on the tops of our paper so that I know whose paper it is? Name and what else do we write? Day. Good October the 18th.
October the 6th.
She's fine. Okay, so over here, we have Henry's words that he used in the book. And then right here, we're gonna go back through the book and look at the pictures and surrounding words and see if we can figure out what he meant by that. And then we're gonna write right here how we know. So let's do the first one together. Okay, so he tells the teacher that he misplaced his trusty Zimulus. So what do we think a Zimulus is, Nevaeh?
Pencil.
A pencil. So we are gonna write on my guess. What are we gonna write?
Pencil.
Pencil. Okay, and how did we know it was a pencil? What did we look at? The picture. Yeah, we're gonna write exactly what we saw to find that out. But you're right, it is a context clue. Okay, so let's see what the next one is. Okay, I misplaced my trusty Zimulus. Then I found it on my desky. What do we think that is, Jamira?
A desk.
A desk. That was a good one. So we're gonna write right here. What are we gonna write? Yes.
I have a catch up.
Oh, go ahead. And Jamira, how did you know that that was desk? Kind of sounds like desk, doesn't it? Desky kind of sounds like desk. So let's write sounds the same. That sound good? Okay, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to move on to the next one. You have a question? Or are you just ready? Oh. Okay. Okay, someone had put my desky in a Taraku. The Taraku drove me right here to Skola. So, what do we think a Taraku is? Okay, Jack, what do you think a Taraku is?
A vehicle?
A vehicle? That's a good idea. That's good. Yeah.
Yes.
Because it has wheels. That's good. When I first read it, I thought it was a spaceship, but then it said the Taraku drove me right here to Skola. So that's a good guess. Okay, so we can write. And Jack, how did you know that? What did you say?
Because there's wheels on it.
Okay, so we could write picture. We can do a slash wheels. Ready? I need some help. Check it out.
They're kind of all or
It'll
nothing.
turn all the way off.
Mhm.
Okay.
We'll see.
Let's try.
There's lamps on.
Will you still be able to see to write?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, I
awesome.
want.
Now we can see the board better.
I'm gonna vehicle wrong.
And I'll leave this up here for a little while after we go through them all, and if you need to go back and fix one, we can do that too. Okay, our next one is Scola. Scola.
What? I'm not ready yet.
Oh, you're not ready yet? So the book said,
Ready?
okay, so the book said, someone had put my desk in a Taraku, and the Taraku drove me right here to Scola. So who can say what they think Scola is? Isaac? School. And how did you know it was school? Does it kind of sound like school? Yeah? And where was he at in the beginning? Well, yeah, he was home in the beginning, but when his teacher was asking him why he was late, where were they? At school, yeah. So we could write sounds. We could even write setting, because we knew that they were at school.
Do we have to put the setting?
No, you can put sounds the same if that's how you knew that it was school. That's what you're gonna ask me. Yeah, you just write whatever made you think that was the word school.